Thanks for staying with us. You're watching WION World is One. I'm Adhya Juneja, and this is Speed News. Let's start with all the stories making headlines today. US President Donald Trump has threatened to bomb Oman if it creates obstacle for his administration's talks with Iran. Now, the latest threats from Trump came during a phone interview with Fox News. The US and Oman have been negotiating separately with Tehran to reopen the Strait of Hormuz. Well, earlier in the day, Iranian officials said they were close to finalizing a deal with Oman. Meanwhile, the future of talks between the US and Iran is unclear as a 60-day memorandum of understanding between the two sides have expired. Iran's foreign ministry spokesman Ismail Baghei said that the 60-day deadline for talks with the US following the 17th of June memorandum of understanding lost its relevance. Well, he has also accused Washington of multiple violations of the memorandum of understanding. He also added that the memorandum envisaged a 60-day period for negotiations on two issues, the lifting of sanctions and the nuclear issue, which could have been extended if no agreement was reached. Hundreds of vessels with thousands of seafarers were still stranded in the Strait of Hormuz amid high tensions between Iran and the US. Now, the vessels loaded with containers and oil tankers were seen stand still on Monday. The Strait of Hormuz remains a focal point of US-Iran conflict following the collapse of a 60-day ceasefire negotiated in mid-June 2026. Israeli President Isaac Herzog met U.S. Special Envoy Jared Kushner and the Board of Peace High Representative Nikolay Mladenov in Jerusalem. Israeli President said that he was grateful for the ongoing efforts of President Trump's Special Envoy Jared Kushner in advancing to the next stages in Gaza in accordance with President Trump's plan. Well, earlier, Kushner held an hours-long meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu days after then he rejected the US-backed 15-point roadmap to move the ceasefire deal forward in Gaza. Hamas's representatives in Iran said the group will not disarm as long as what he called the occupying force exists. Now, the statements come amid efforts by the United States to salvage the Gaza peace plan. U.S. negotiator and President Donald Trump's son-in-law Jared Kushner held a rare meeting with the Hamas chief on Sunday in a new diplomatic effort to make progress in the stalled Gaza peace plan. A court in Russia convicted a prominent opposition politician for speaking out against the conflict in Ukraine and sentenced him to 11 years and 1 month in prison in the latest crackdown leading up to next month's parliamentary election. The verdict against Lev Schlossberg is the latest effort by the Kremlin to stifle dissent since Russia started its military operation in the neighboring country in February 2022, while Schlossberg is deputy chairman of opposition party Yabloko. Russia's Supreme Court upheld its earlier ruling to remove the Yabloko party from the ballot in next month's election for the State Duma, denying the party's appeal. Yabloko supporters gathered in front of the court in Moscow, and local media reported that several dozen people were detained. Last month, the Central Election Commission allowed Yabloko on the ballot for the State Duma, along with 10 other parties. In recent years, Yabloko was the only registered opposition party that objected Russia's conflict with Ukraine. The conflict in Sudan intensifies. United Nations has noted that civilians have been killed in the Sudan conflict. United Nations spokesperson Stefan Dujarric told reporters that all parties must protect civilians and civilian infrastructure. He has also urged that aid must be allowed to reach people quickly and safely and without obstruction. Doctors Without Borders, or MSF, said that a massive scale-up was needed to contain the fastest-spreading Ebola outbreak on record. According to MSF, the Ebola outbreak in eastern Congo has spread so rapidly and so widely that it's outpacing health authorities' ability to respond. Congo's fast-moving Ebola outbreak has now killed over 2,300 people and became the deadliest outbreak of the disease on record in the Central African nation. US President Donald Trump has again called for stricter voter identification rules in America. Well, this time Trump has cited India's election system as an example. Trump is pushing for the passage of the Save America Act. Now, the bill seeks stricter citizenship requirements for voting in US elections. In a post on his Truth Social platform, Trump referred to India's election system. Trump said mandatory photo ID for every voter would help curb what he called electoral fraud. Trump also pointed to India's use of postal ballots. He said less than 1% of voters used postal ballots in India's recent general election. A big breakthrough in Jharkhand students' protest. Well, student leader Devendra Nath Mathur has ended a hunger strike and called off the protest after government accepted the demands made by students. Mathur called the state government's decision a huge victory for Jharkhand. The Jharkhand ministers Deepika Pandey Singh and Irfan Ansari were present at the time. Mathur thanked Chief Minister Hemant Soren, Congress leader Rahul Gandhi, ministers and others who supported the students' protest. Chief Minister Hemant Soren has announced a wider review of government recruitment examinations in Jharkhand. The Jharkhand cabinet has decided to cancel examinations conducted since 2014 by private firm TDPL. Now, the Chief Minister said that the cabinet has also decided to cancel JPSC and JSSC CGL examinations. Another key announcement was all exam discrepancies since 2014 will be investigated by CIT. The state government has decided to form a committee for reforms under the chairmanship of IAS officer Amitabh Kaushal. Chief Minister Hemant Soren has said that the government will introduce strong legislation in their interest soon. Well, Hemant Soren also said that the move is aimed at addressing the concerns raised by students and job aspirants. Multi-layered security arrangements have been put in place along the Rajouri-Poonch National Highway on the second day of the Budha Amarnath Yatra. Now, the highway connecting Rajouri and Poonch has been covered with heightened security development to ensure the safe and smooth movement of Budha Amarnath pilgrims travelling between Jammu, Rajouri and Poonch. Personnel from the Indian Army, Jammu and Kashmir Police, CRPF, CISF and other security agencies are maintaining high alertness at important locations and along the highway. Well, on to some updates from climate across the world. Belgium is battling one of its largest wildfires despite cooler weather and rain. Now, the blaze is in the High Fence Nature Reserve and is moving near Germany, which is about 8 kilometers away. The deadly wildfire has burned around 30 square kilometers or about 12 square miles. Forest officials say the blaze is dangerous because in areas of peat bog, fires can remain dormant and reignite in other places. Now, the area is also the site of World War II battles, raising fears that unexploded ordnance near the German border could be ignited if the fires are not brought under control. Firefighters from several countries are assisting, but some areas remain inaccessible. Belgium's King Philippe interrupted his summer vacation to visit emergency services fighting the massive wildfire burning in the eastern high fens near the border with Germany as it continued to spread eastwards. Now, the blazes are the latest to scorch parts of Europe as the continent witnesses one of its hottest and driest summers on record. Hurricane Lala weakened to a tropical storm after its eye wall skirted Hawaii without making landfall. It continued to punish the state with hurricane-force gusts and pounding rain, reaching a total of nearly 3 feet in places and sending raging torrents down mountainsides. A search and rescue mission, including civil defense, the National Guard and a Coastal Guard helicopter, was launched after flash floods apparently swept several occupied homes off their foundations in the coastal communities.
It's blowing. Still got 30, 40 mile an hour gusts. And it's raining like crazy.
A plume of ash and smoke billowed from Sicily's Mount Etna a day after a U.S. tourist died. But the tourist was killed by a lightning strike while hiking in an area that was closed to visitors due to recent volcanic activity. Authorities have closed vast areas of the volcano's slope to hikers due to the volcano's prolonged activity, which forced the closure of the airport in nearby Catania for most of last week. Well, on to some business stories now. Asian markets traded mixed on Tuesday, with South Korea's Kospi jumping more than 1%, while Japan's Nikkei 225 fell about 1%. Australia's ASX 200 rose 0.2%, while Hong Kong's Hang Seng Index and China's CSI 300 edged lower. Investor sentiment remained fragile as US-Iran tensions persisted after ceasefire talks stalled, pushing oil prices higher and raising concerns over inflation. Well, US stock futures were little changed after all 3 major indexes closed lower in the previous session. Oil prices extended gains on Tuesday as hopes of a permanent ceasefire between the US and Iran continued to fade, raising fresh concerns over global energy supplies. Brent crude rose above $91 per barrel, while US crude climbed close to $85. Iran said it would adopt a fully offensive military posture after talks to end the stalled conflict, while Washington ruled out extending a temporary ceasefire. Concerns over disruptions in the Strait of Hormuz and the Bab el-Mandeb, 2 of the world's most important oil shipping routes, continue to support prices. The US dollar hovered near multi-month lows as weaker economic data reduced expectations of a near-term Federal Reserve rate hike. Now, the euro traded near a 2-month high at $1.15, while the pound remained close to a 3-month peak. Traders now see a 35% chance of a Fed rate hike in September, down from 52% a week ago. However, escalating US-Iran tensions and higher oil prices kept investors cautious, with concerns over the Strait of Hormuz pushing global bond yields higher and adding to inflation worries. Well, on to some stories from the world of technology. ByteDance and the Motion Picture Association, or MPA, have signed an agreement to strengthen copyright protections on ByteDance's AI generation models. Now, the deal covers Seedance for AI-generated video and Seed Dream for AI-generated images. The agreement follows a cease and desist letter sent by the MPA in February after Disney and other Hollywood studios raised concerns that the tools can generate copyrighted characters and celebrity likenesses without permission. ByteDance says newer versions of the models have stronger intellectual property safeguards. GitHub, the Microsoft-owned developer platform, faced a major outage on 17th of August. Errors began around 9:40 a.m. ET and continued for several hours, affecting web services, API requests, pull requests, and webhooks. Now, GitHub also reported issues with Copilot, its AI-powered coding assistant. At one point, around 20% of web and API traffic was returning errors, while archive and raw repository downloads saw error rates of about 50%. Now, GitHub later said it had identified the problematic component and taken corrective actions. Most services were restored, with the company giving the all-clear around 5:15 p.m. ET. Well, Google has announced long-term partnerships with 5 major European football clubs: Arsenal, Barcelona, Bayern Munich, Liverpool and Paris Saint-Germain. Well, under the deals, Google's Gemini AI and Pixel smartphones will become official consumer AI and smartphone partners for all 5 clubs. Now, Gemini will help fans analyze live match tactics, historical head-to-head data and club updates through AI-powered features. Pixel, meanwhile, will work with club media teams to capture pitch-side and match-day content using its cameras and computational photography. Tesla is preparing to launch its new cybercab robotaxi in Austin, Texas, as early as this month, according to the information. Now, the cybercab is a fully autonomous vehicle designed for Tesla's robotaxi service. It has no steering wheel or pedals. Now, Tesla plans to first let its employees ride in the cybercab on public roads in Austin. A few days later, Tesla plans to add the vehicles to its public robotaxi service in the city. The company has already been testing the production version of the cybercab on public roads since the month of June. Well, YouTube is changing how it counts video views from 24th of August. Under the new system, a view will be counted as soon as a video starts playing or a user enters a live stream. Previously, it was generally understood that a view required a user to watch a video for a longer period of time. Now, YouTube says the change will make view counts more consistent across different video formats. The platform will still show engaged views in creator analytics, allowing creators to see how many people actually continued watching. Discord has suspended live streaming in Brazil following criticism over child safety. Now, the move comes after Brazil's Data Protection Agency ordered the company to suspend the feature last week. The action follows the death of a 13-year-old girl in the month of July who was allegedly coerced by other users into self-harm during a live stream. Brazilian authorities said Discord had not done enough to prevent violence, self-harm and suicide-related content from reaching children and adolescents. Discord said in its talks with Brazilian authorities to find a solution that would allow live streaming to resume. An unprecedented number of Apple users have reported receiving threat notifications warning that their devices may have been targeted by powerful spyware. Apple sent the latest wave of alerts to users in 110 countries, with digital rights group Access now reporting a record number of people seeking help since the warnings were sent. Access Now, a digital rights group that investigates spyware attacks, said the number of people seeking assistance was 30 to 40% higher than usual following a new batch of Apple spyware alerts. Apple uses these notifications to warn customers it believes may have been targeted by missionary spyware, sophisticated surveillance tools often associated with government operations. Well, on to some sports stories now. India's wait for a first Hockey World Cup win over England since 1994 continues. The men in blue surrendered a half-time lead to go down 4-2 in Amstelveen. Well, India looked in control at the break, leading 2-1 in their Pool D clash. But England struck 3 times after the interval to complete the turnaround. The result extends India's run against England at the World Cup to 32 years. India remains second in Pool D with 3 points. England moved top. Well, India will now turn their attention to arch rivals Pakistan in their final pool match on Wednesday. Indian shuttler Ayush Shetty stunned world number 1 Siu Chi in the opening round of the Badminton World Championship. Now, the 21-year-old pulled off a spectacular performance to dump out the defending champion from China in 3 games with a 21-14, 13-21, 21-14 scoreline. Well, it was Ayush's first win over Siu Chi after 3 successive defeats, including the defeat in the final of the Asia Badminton Championships earlier this year. Former champion PV Sindhu has marched into the second round of the Badminton World Championship with a comfortable win over Ireland's Sophia Nobel. Well, Sindhu, a 5-time championship medalist, did not need to get out of second gear in a 21-7, 21-11 victory over the debutant. Well, the match lasted only 29 minutes as Sindhu dictated proceedings from the get-go. Nobel gave a better account of herself in the second game, but Sindhu proved to be too strong as the Indian won 10 of the last 13 points to wrap up the triumph. Sindhu will next face Canadian and world number 49 Wen Yu Zhang in the round of 32. FIFA's chief operating officer Kevin Lamore has been given the red card. Lamore has been sacked by the governing body after he strongly criticized FIFA President Gianni Infantino's aborted World Cup privatization plans. Well, in a statement, FIFA confirmed Lamore's sacking, saying that the working relationship between the governing body and the 46-year-old has effectively come to an end. Well, last month, Kevin Lamore fired a curling shot at the controversial FIFA Forward Enterprise FFE, calling it as a project of one person. He also added that the administration has been deceived about the aborted privatization proposal. Going over to some stories from entertainment now. Studios in Hollywood have officially blocked a summer release date for the highly anticipated Ghost Rider movie starring Ryan Gosling. Directed by Sean Levy, well, the film is scheduled to hit theaters on 28th of July 2028. The supernatural superhero feature is strategically slotted between an upcoming untitled X-Men reboot and Black Panther 3, rounding out a massive year for the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Angelina Jolie is opening up about her new directorial venture Without Blood. But the actor stated that the film is for anyone seeking answers and healing after trauma. Starring Salma Hayek and Damien Bichir, well, the war drama explores universal truths about conflict and memory. However, insiders note that Jolie's discussion of trauma and returning to where we break serves as a subtle reflection of her own grueling healing process following her highly publicized and tumultuous divorce from Brad Pitt. Indian actor Ashwin Mishran, who is known for his roles in Lage Raho Munna Bhai and Fashion, was reportedly involved in a serious road accident in Goa. According to police, a vehicle carrying Mishran and his wife collided with a two-wheeler, leaving a father and son severely injured. A case has been registered against Mishran's driver. Following the recent box office success of Avarapan 2, producer Vishesh Bhatt has confirmed that Jannat 3 is officially in development. The scripting has already started for the third installment of the blockbuster franchise, and Bollywood star Imran Hashmi is heavily involved in the process. Announcement comes 18 years after the release of the original Jannat. Indian director Zoya Akhtar has confirmed that his sequel to the 2011 cult classic Zindagi Na Milegi Dobara is in the works. While speaking to the Hollywood Reporter India, Akhtar shared that she and her co-writer Reema Kakti are currently working on a script. However, the director emphasized that the movie will only be made if they find the correct story to catch up with Hrithik Roshan, Farhan Akhtar and Abhay Deol's characters after 15 years. After a theatrical run in May 2026, the family-friendly fantasy adventure The Great Grand Superhero Aliens Ka Agman is heading to streaming. Now, the film will premiere on Kids Z on Z5 on 21st of August, directed by Manish Saini. Well, the movie stars Jackie Shroff as a playful grandfather who pretends to be a superhero to help his grandson fit in at a new school, only to be thrust into an adventure involving aliens.